fifth evening, so let's get right to it, brother, man. What we got going on first?
So we're gonna talk about this Meek Mill situation, a real, grimy and unfortunate situation.
Yeah,
well, surveillance video down there in South Philly where Meek Mill's, grandmother lives at, and the video I see right there on the screen, you'll see what appears to be a white man who spray painted a racial remark on the side of her building there, which referenced the word white privilege. There's been all up on Instagram. The crazy part was that it's a black neighborhood, and he says it's been gentrified 20 years ago. We knew what's going on in Philly, Temple, and all the different colleges. That's a whole nother subject. But what do you think about this though, SamAnt? Meek Mill's grandmother, target of a white man, pretty much going there and painting a racial slur, I guess. Oh, he ain't put no mask or nothing on, just walked straight up there and did it. What do you think about this?
It's very disrespectful. It's something very unfortunate. You shouldn't want any woman, definitely an elder woman, to have to deal with any kind of disgusting act like that. That being said, this isn't our first rodeo, I'm sure, unfortunately. This isn't any of our first rodeo in Philly, you know what I mean, where she was probably subjected to plenty of racism. We've heard stories from our grandparents, our grandfather in particular, God rest his soul. Used to live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania during the early 1920s, 30s, and 40s. So we got some great stories involved in that situation. But like you said, another story, another time. Not surprising. I think what was surprising to me, and you were talking about this early on before we started the podcast, was we surprised she still lived there. Why is she not in the burbs somewhere far away from that situation? But then you know how a lot of our elders are. They get into their place and it's theirs.
Yeah, no matter what. Right.
So like I said, this isn't surprising to me. It's unfortunate. It's disgusting. And they knew it was Meek Mill mom's grandma's house. They were trying to make a scene. So
you think it's any possibility of this being like the higher ups, sending him a message, somebody sending him a message like, yo, because we already know about, it's been a lot. I don't know if you've seen it, but somebody from Meek Mill's entourage, not exactly from his aunt, that was affiliated with him, like a business associate was killed.
Yeah,
somebody else was killed. Somebody named Dex Osama, and then everybody just saying like it's just big conspiracy around people being killed, around the Dream Chasers circle. Are they sending a message to Meek Mill to kind of back up from politics or whatever you're trying to do, or is this some crazy dude just wilding out? What do you think? I'm
gonna put this on. It's a crazy dude with a phone that hears conversations like this, and not that we're stirring a pot or anything, because this is out there for everyone to listen and kind of get a gauge on. And we all know Meek Mill's on the forefront of prison reform, and he's very outspoken against that right now. And he talked about it and alluded to it a little bit on the Breakfast Club. If somebody even came up to me and pressed me, I'm backing off that. He's really kind of in his box with as far as being out there and protecting his family and things like that first. And that has to be respected and commended. I don't see this as a situation where anyone's trying to, from a higher up perspective, sending a message to them. I think this is somebody on their phone kind of getting wind of all this stuff and trying to create a moment.
Well, either way, I mean, I'm looking at this comment on the article, and it says they want to scare him so he can stop talking about justice and reform in the system. Remember what he said on the Breakfast Club. It's funny, and I'm just seeing that after I said that, but it doesn't matter if it's a higher up or just some regular crazy old person, you know what I mean? That's trying to send him a message. Obviously, we know that when you start getting into, when you want to take, your struggle, worldwide, we've seen people get killed. A lot of activists, which Meek Mill says he's not an activist. So it's really like a territory where, a few people dare to go. A lot of people get quiet because they know that on the side, it could be people who, stand for certain things, and you taking that stance could mean somebody else could be out of something. So they want to defend that. That's just how America is. So, I think it's just, just some crazy guy, like you said, saw something on the internet, find out where she lived at, and just wanted to make a little headline. But it definitely could be more, serious, definitely.
Well, let me ask you this, God, do you think this is an isolated incident, or do you think this is a situation where there's going to be a pattern? And if that being said, do you think Meek Mill is going to back off a little bit from his stance and from his movement because of this and because of his statements on the Breakfast Club in various interviews?
I doubt it because of this. Maybe if it heats up, if things begin to heat up, with him. I mean, we've seen Michael Vick, Colin Kaepernick. I mean, this is something that people are subjected to in America. Serena Williams, Venus Williams, different racial slurs, people writing stuff. It happens more than it's actually reported, all around the country. Racism definitely still exists. So, I don't think it's going to back them up. But he has to understand that where he's going. I'm definitely not trying to discourage him. I want to encourage him to keep doing it because we need that somebody to speak up on that level. But you're going to have people who are going to try to scare you and move you off of that. But these dudes are supposed to be street dudes. So if somebody writing something on the wall, I mean, trying to scare you, come on, man. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking. Come on, you can't let that shake you. And we both think this is an isolated incident. We'll see what happens.
Yes, sir. But we're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God, and SamAnt. Today, going in on this